So I'm going to be discussing why I don't think that Jesus ever existed on the earth. And I know that there are records, supposedly. I have heard a lot of people say, but there are Roman records of, someone going by Christ or Christus around 3,000 years ago. And, the Romans were super good record keepers, and there are records kept of his crucifixion. Honestly, I don't know that much about the records that are kept. That's something that I will look into more. But I'm just mostly going to be proposing my logical, how do I put this? I guess my logical defiances towards the figure of Christ, and why I don't think that Jesus Christ was an actual person. So I just want to preface this by saying that I am not completely discounting everything about Christianity or even the story of Christ. I think that the story of Christ is really interesting. So the idea of a personal savior it's a fascinating concept to me, and I think a lot about what the Bible discusses about suffering is very, very interesting. But I guess where I have an issue with Jesus being an actual person, it's pretty simple, really. So, first of all, it's hard for me to believe that whatever created the universe, whatever created physics and chemistry and biology and the entire universe, it's very hard for me to believe that that it makes mistakes, pretty much. Or that, furthermore, not only just that it would make mistakes, but that it would regret things that it has created. So that's kind of the entire core concept of Christianity when you really start looking into it, is the idea that God created the world, he created the earth, and he created human beings, and then and God created human beings exactly the way that it wanted to create them, right? Because it is the creator. And then it decided that it's not happy with what it created. So, because its creation, what it created perfectly in its image, is screwing up so much. It's so sinful, right? Then God decides to send itself to the earth as a sacrifice to himself to save what he created from himself. Now, I realize that some people watching this, if anybody is even watching this, a lot of the ways I'm going to be talking about religion, I know that a lot of people have not thought about it in these ways. Because I didn't start thinking about it in these ways until I was pretty well into adulthood, actually. I was raised in Christianity, and I just didn't question the teachings because it's such dogma. But once I started questioning the teachings, a lot of things started falling out of place and in place at the same time. And I really don't know how coherent what I'm trying to articulate will be. But hopefully the more that I speak about it on this channel, maybe the more it will make sense to people. But another reason that I don't think that Jesus was an actual person is, first of all, it's very strange to me that God would choose to incarnate in the Middle East. Okay, but the more I think about it, it makes a lot of sense actually, because that's such a rich historical area of human development. I'm pretty sure it's near like the Fertile Crescent or whatever, where like a lot of human beings came out of, or like a lot of human evolution stems from. So it's not really surprising to me that the story of Jesus comes out of the Middle East, but it is surprising to me that God would just choose Jesus to come out of, a random tribe from the Middle East. So that makes me wonder, well, why didn't God, send his son through China or anywhere in Asia or South America or the Americas or Africa even? And one more point, I'm gonna make a lot of points actually. Another point is that you would think that if God actually sent himself in human form, right, that it would be able to get the message, delivered correctly, that it would be able to do what it was attempting to do, right? But instead, from Jesus have sprouted like countless denominations of religious sectors that fight with each other and kill each other over disagreements about Jesus. I would just think that I would just really think that, God would be able to have a successful visitation to the earth. That there should be no questions about it if it actually happened, sort of thing. It's almost difficult to like discuss and articulate this, because I have moved very far past it in my thought process. But anyways, so there's that whole issue I have with that, God did not get it right, because, you would think that everybody, you would think people wouldn't be killing each other based off of it. So yeah, there's a lot of things with Christianity. Another one is that I do not think that what created the atom, that what created the literal structure of the universe, I don't think it cares about being born through a virgin. For some reason, that has never really made sense to me. Another thing, why did Jesus never write anything down? Why is there not one single document or, piece of history or, that Jesus ever wrote? It's really suspicious. And yeah, I think about these things a lot, honestly. Yeah. So I don't know how it has been 9 minutes already of discussing this. But yeah, that's just a serious question I had to pose to myself is, well, what does that mean for me if Jesus is a completely mythical figure? If Jesus didn't even walk on the earth, what does that mean for me? And I don't know, actually. Yeah, and I think it's absolutely sort of insane that the whole premise of Christianity teeters on your belief. Your, like, salvation depends upon whether or not you believe in Jesus. It's very bizarre. And the funniest part to me about all of religion in general is that it doesn't matter if you are Jewish. It doesn't matter if you are a Muslim. It doesn't matter if you are a Christian. It doesn't matter if you're any type of religion that exists at all. Whatever created everything exists regardless of what you believe in. So, yep, this is very much just an intro to talking about religion on this channel. I would love for anybody to comment their opinions on religion, or even, experiences that they've had with religion. I'm very, very interested in people's personal experiences and what they have witnessed and why they believe in what they believe in. It's so interesting to me, actually. I'm gonna make, I think, one more video today about why nobody cares about you. So, yep, have a good one.